What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. It is 4 in the morning. I'm tired as hell, as you can see by my face, but I wanted to put this video out here for you guys because I think it's something that's really important. That's the concept of reading. And I always hated reading growing up. Always hated it, but over the last year, I've really dedicated a lot of time to reading and learning and improving. And that's one thing that comes from reading is improving yourself, depending on the types of books you read. You're improving yourself in one way or another, whether it's, self-development or personal development books, which that's the main category of books that I enjoy reading. But also it's like you're improving your vocabulary, your ability to articulate your thoughts. There's a ton of different things that, subconsciously are happening that you don't necessarily realize. So I kind of want to introduce you guys to a few of my favorite books and I don't know, I guess spread the wealth of knowledge to you guys. So my number one favorite book in terms of fiction, I would say is John Steinbeck's East of Eden. It's a book I read in 10th grade. 10th grade summer going into 11th grade. So East of Eden, John Steinbeck, phenomenal book. I've recommended it to probably 15 people. I recommended it to my ex-girlfriend. It's my favorite book of all time. And here I am, 24 years old. So this is 8 years later. It's still my favorite book. I love it. A lot of knowledge in it, actually. A lot of lessons, a lot of morality that's taught in it. And it's just a great book. But as far as books that are, I guess, self-help or just things that can really benefit you in terms of knowledge, my number one book that's impacted my life is Corey Wayne's How to Be a 3% Man. It's my favorite book. It's impacted my life tremendously, and I cannot thank him enough. So although he'll never see this, and although I'm not paid for this advertisement, How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne is the best book that I think I've ever read, hands down, especially in terms of self-help. And seriously, it's a great book. So it's mainly centered around relationships, not just boyfriend, girlfriend, or girlfriend, or whatever. But it teaches obviously that. So relationships, but business relationships, how to negotiate, family, friends, relationships, things like that. But this is what it looks like. It is How to Be a 3% Man. So it teaches skills from as far as pickup to dating to relationship, long-term relationship, whether you want to get married or really anything. And like I said, it teaches the importance of business and business relationships and how to negotiate, because a lot of people don't know these things. And the reason it's called How to Be a 3% Man is because 97% of men don't understand these principles that are taught in the book. So he goes over things from how to first attract women, but it also attracts, you don't necessarily have to be attracted to women. It works for gay men. Women read this book also. It's got 4.8 stars out of 5, I believe, on Amazon, with thousands and thousands of reviews. I believe it's 6,000 reviews. And a lot of women say, wow, this is great information. I wish my husband read this book. It's a great book, and it's really changed my life. But the principles that are taught in this are phenomenal, from attracting women to keeping them attracted to realizing the subtle mistakes that, we make on a daily basis that had I known 2 or 3 years ago, my life would be totally different. And I wish I knew them then, but guess what? I know them now. So I guess the women in my future, or the woman, I guess, that I'm currently with, gets the benefits of that. But it teaches that. There's 7 principles to get an expect, which he also has an article and a video on YouTube about. You could Google search or YouTube search Coach Corey Wayne, and you'll see a lot of his material on there if you don't want to buy the book. I believe the paperback is about $30. I would honestly pay $50. I would pay $75 for this book if I knew the knowledge that it had, and then I ended up having to put a price on it. It's really great, and I can't recommend it enough. He recommends you read it 7 to 10 times. 10 to 15 times, because you only retain 7 to 10% of knowledge anytime you read something. So you got to read it 10 to 15 times in order to memorize everything that's in the book. I think it's 250 pages, but haven't read it that much yet. But the amount of times that I have read it hasn't quite been 15, but It's a work in progress, but it's a phenomenal book, and I can't recommend it enough. And, it teaches everything from realizing that women, because that's a mistake I made when I was younger, is a woman comes to you with her problems, and you immediately, because we're men, we want to fix their problems. We're looking to solve the problem. But really, women, when they come to you with an issue, they just want to talk. They want to talk. They want you to listen. They want you to empathize, not conjure up solutions and try to solve their problems. And that's a mistake that I made throughout my life. And sometimes I find myself, when a girl's telling me their issues, I want to try to fix the issue, but that's not what they're coming to you for. They want you to listen. And had I known that before, I would have saved many arguments and many relationships. So again, Coach Corey Wayne is the man. Can't recommend it enough. Great book. Second up is Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life. This is more of like a self-help book in terms of leading a meaningful life. And men have really lost their way over the last decade, potentially more than that, but this book is great. I have not finished it yet, but I've watched his lectures. He's got lectures around this book, The 12 Rules, because it originally started with a Reddit feed. Or no, it was a feed on Quora.com. And he wrote I think 120 rules for life, and then he narrowed it down to the 12 most important, which I'm going to discuss real quick. I'm just going to go over the table of contents, and then you guys can pick up this book on your own, because I promise you, it's worth it. Rule 1, stand up straight with your shoulders back. Rule 2, treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Rule 3, make friends with people who want the best for you. Rule 4, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Rule 5, do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. Rule 6, set your own house in perfect order before you criticize the world. That one's key. Rule number 7, pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Rule number 8, tell the truth, or at least don't lie. That one's also key. Rule number 9, assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. Rule number 10, be precise in your speech. Rule number 11, do not bother children when they are skateboarding. Rule number 12, pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. Now, the title of those chapters might seem like they do not relate to you, but I assure you they do. And they're fantastic. And like I said, I've watched videos on his synopsises of each chapter, and they're really great. And just do a YouTube search for Jordan Peterson. He's phenomenal. He's a psychotherapist and a clinical psychologist, and he's also a professor with his PhD at University of Toronto. He's really great, and he's been an inspiration to my life, and I can't thank him enough for the wealth of knowledge that he's given me, and also just leading the way in terms of intellectuals. I would say a few honorable mentions would be Carol Dweck, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. Great book. This one's really quick. You could probably read through this in a few days. It is 250 pages, I believe. Maybe a little bit more. I think it's 250. Yeah. 248 pages. Pretty quick, but it's a great book. That one's good in terms of parenting, business, school, and relationships. That one's really good. If you're looking for tips on writing, we're talking about Roy Peter Clark. This is writing tools. This has taught me tons of things, from using less adverbs to just literary elements of where to use, what not to use. This is a phenomenal book if you're a writer, or if you're looking to just improve your writing, whether it's just for college or, if you're looking to write a book or something. And lastly, I'll probably catch some shit for it, but Bullies by Ben Shapiro, basically saying how the title is Bullies, How the Left's Culture of Fear and Intimidation Silences Americans, which is ever so fitting, and I cannot even say how phenomenal Ben Shapiro is. He's great. And if you're not conservative, that's cool, but the way that he debates and the way he presents his ideas are very sound, and he's very intellectual, and He's very informative, and that's a great book. And it kind of exposes the liberals for what they are. And yeah, so those are basically my 2 favorite books, with the 3 honorable mentions, plus East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Phenomenal book. Again, if you're looking for something that's entertaining, it's a little bit lengthy. It'll take you, I think it took me like 8 days to read, but I read for hours and hours and hours at a time. But again, that was back in high school, but I reread it again, and it was great. So I can't recommend these books enough. There's tons of other ones. I started writing The Art of the Deal. I started reading The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. I'm currently about a quarter of the way through. That's a really good book too, but it depends on whether you're looking for a goal or something to accomplish, whether there's a purpose that you're reading or you're just looking for something entertaining. If you're looking for something entertaining, check out something fiction-based, maybe non-fiction, I don't know, it's up to you, but definitely buy my shit when I release it. But self-help, or if you're learning to learn how to negotiate. If you're trying to learn how to negotiate, check out The Art of the Deal, Donald Trump. That's a great book. I think there's a free audiobook also on, might be YouTube, so check that out. Hope you guys like this video. Let me know your guys' favorite books, because I'm always looking for recommendations, and I definitely want you guys to check these out because they're really good. Again, 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson, great book. How to Be a 3% Man by Coach Corey Wayne. Or you could just YouTube search either of those guys. And then the other books are not as cool, but they're still books that I would recommend tenfold. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. I'm going to go get some sleep finally after this long ass day. I'll talk to you guys.